You're watching BionicDance. Don't run on automatic, instead, please think.
Hi everybody, BionicDance here. Now I know I've been covering this subject a lot lately, but there's an aspect of morality that I realize I have not talked about in quite some time, probably more than a year. And I have new subscribers and, let's face it, new opponents, so let's cover objective versus subjective once again. So, because obviously some of you don't actually understand the difference between objective and subjective, and it's high time I covered it. So, what is the difference between objective and subjective, really? Well, subjective is something that exists solely in the brain, solely in your head meats. You see, subjective is an opinion or a feeling. It's something that you and only you will feel. That's really all it is. This is subjective. I believe this. I feel this. Now, someone might agree with you, but that's them subjectively holding the same opinion. That would never make it objective. If everybody, every living, thinking, feeling creature in the entire Western universe felt the same thing, that would just be everybody subjectively agreeing. That would never make it objective, because what is objective is something that exists independently of perspective, something that exists independently of head meats. I mean, as the name implies, generally speaking, something that's objective is an object. It's often something that's physical. It's something where if every living creature were to die and thus all perspectives cease to exist, that thing that's objective would still be true, would still be the case, that it is not reliant upon perspective to be true. Thus, an object is something that doesn't require perspective to be the case. Say, for example, a rock being solid, being made of specific chemicals. That chemical composition doesn't require us seeing it, feeling it, being able to hear it when we knock our hands against it, that kind of thing. Doesn't require any of that for it to still be a rock, to be made of that chemical composition. That is an objective thing. Now, objective morality, as I say, is a contradiction in terms, because objective morality, it can't exist. Morality is a set of oughts, a set of what should be, that about behavior. Now, people saying, well, that is how you should behave, that's an opinion. That's, in this situation, I think you should behave that way because it will produce these results. I prefer it if you act in that way. It would be best if you produce those results from that behavior. Morality is inherently an opinion. It's a preference. It's you should behave that way. Now, there can be universals about that sort of thing. Everyone should be like, well, you shouldn't kill. And of course, there'll be people who disagree with that, you know, psychopaths or whatever, who go, well, no, I like killing. Killing's great. Killing's wonderful. There'll be people, you know, masochists or whatever. No, pain is wonderful. I like pain. Pain is pleasurable. You know, there'll always be dissenters. So, obviously, even universals aren't completely universal. Point is, though, that all of these things, these preferences of behavior, exist in the mind. They are perspectives. They are inherently subjective. So morality has to exist in the mind. By definition, morality is subjective. Morality cannot exist independent of perspective, independent of the mind. Morality is inherently subjective. If every living creature in the entire universe died, where would morality be? Where would morality come from? Where would these oughts about behavior come from? Where would they be? Where would their chemical composition or the moral equivalent thereof be that would make them up? The way a rock would have a chemical composition. Where would you find that? that equivalent of morality. Now, some of you might try to claim, well, it would come from God. Okay, fine. It would come from God, really? Really? Well, how are our moral oughts anything other than God's perspective on, how people should behave? I mean, assuming even that God exists, which I don't believe, but if a God did exist, well, isn't morality God's preference and opinion? No, it's part of God's essential nature. Really? Well, okay, fine. Prove God exists. Point is, though, that, as I say, subjective morality, I can see that existing. Opinion, perspective. Objective morality, contradiction in terms. And to those of you who don't understand the difference between objective and subjective, I hope I've explained it now, because that's what it means. And when someone says I'm trying to be objective about the situation, what you're trying to say is, hey, look, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. You'll never get there. It's not possible for a person to be completely objective. You will fail. But, you can certainly attempt it. And it's a noble attempt, and I applaud you for it if you can manage it. But at the same time, we're just not built to do it. Still, in any case, I hope this has cleared it up. I really do. Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please think. Please take the time to rate this video. And hey, if you dig what I do, subscribe. And please visit my Zazzle store, where you'll find all kinds of BionicDance merchandise. And remember, if it can't be in your hand, it's all in your head.